Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing well. In, my name is Kanika, and I will be taking your computer science and informatic practices. So, in today's video and in upcoming 2 to 3 videos, we are going to revise the basics of Python. In 12th class, you are having much higher concepts of Python. So, before understanding those major concepts, let's revise Python which you have studied in class 11th so that your concepts will become more strong. Let's start the video. Introduction. Python is widely used general-purpose high-level programming language developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991. So Python is a high-level language. Now what is a high-level language? High-level language means any language which is used by user for giving instructions to the computer. As we know, computer understands the language of 0 and 1. So we as user give high level language, that is human understandable language, and that is later on compiled or interpreted and converted into zeros and ones, that is understandable language of the computer. So Python is one of the high level language which is used by programmers or users. Python is used in various industries or fields such as software development, web development, server-side web development, system scripting, mathematics, and etc. Then we come to features of Python. Now what are the features of Python? It is easy to use. That means the syntax of the language is very easy. You are familiar with the language and you know how easy or how less you have to write while giving instructions to perform any task using Python. Next is interpreted language, that is code execution and interpretation line by line. As I told you, Python is a high level language, so it needs to be converted into a computer understandable language, that is in zeros and one. So that is done by using an interpreter. Now what does interpreter do? Interprets the line, that means it reads the line of the code line by line and it converts it into computer understandable language of a further code execution, whatever execution is required by the computer. Next is cross-platform language, that means it can run on any of the operating system, Windows, Linux, Macs, etc. Then we have expressive language, that means less code to be written as it is itself express the purpose of the code. It is a very expressive language, that means you need to write very less to perform your task as compared to other programming languages. Next is completeness, support wide range of library. Python comes with a huge support of libraries. You must have learned some of the libraries such as math. You import that libraries, like you must have studied about math library, and there are many more libraries which Python have, and we are going to study some of these libraries in our coming syllabus. Next is free and open source, that means it is a free software. You do not need to pay anyone for using this software, and open source means it is freely available on the internet. You can just go on python.org and you can download the software without paying or without taking any kind of permission. So it is free and open source. Next comes the shortcomings of Python, that means where Python lack as a language. So first is lesser libraries, that means as compared to other languages C++, Java, .NET, Python have less libraries. Now what is a library? Library is a piece of reusable code that you may want to include in your program or projects. So these are the predefined codes or programs or projects which you can reuse in your own defined program. Next is it is a slow language. Why it is a slow language? Because it is an interpreted language, that means it executes the program slowly. Interpreters run through a program line by line, execute each command, whereas the other compiled languages converted into machine code that processor can execute in one go. Interpreter interprets the line or checks the line or executes the line one by one, whereas compiler compiles the whole code in one go at a given time. Weak on type binding. As you must have seen that in Python you need not to define what kind of data variable you are using, right? If I write print a, so it will print a. If I say 5 plus 10, so it will give me answer 15. So we do not need to define whether 5 is an integer or string or float, it automatically takes that 5 is an integer. So this is kind of a drawback also, because we need to predefine what type of variable we are using so that our memory is prepared accordingly. हमारी memory में data store होता है, so that memory should know what kind of variable you are going to use. But Python is weak on type binding. Type binding means letting you know what kind of variable you are using and allocating that memory to the computer. So these are certain shortcomings of Python. Next we have how Python works. So there are basically two modes of working in Python. First is an interactive mode. Now this interactive mode can be achieved when you work on python.exe. So when you install Python in your system, there are two, you can say two things are made available to you. First is python.exe and other one is IDLE. I hope you have done your previous coding in IDLE. So what you can do, there are two types of coding which you can do, that is interactive mode, right? That means you just open this python.exe and whatever you write, it will give you the immediate result. Okay, how to start this? Click start. Okay, if found, double click it to start Python in an interactive mode. For example, if I show you, if I write print 5 plus 10, so it will give the answer 15. So this is an interactive mode which you can just open in your window, in your start menu by writing python.exe. So as soon as you write anything, it gives you the desired result. Okay, so this is an interactive mode. Other mode is IDLE, which all you must have used in your previous class. So that is, you click on start button, all programs Python version. We will be using 3 because it is the latest version and it is easily available. If you are using 2, that is also not an issue. Next there is an IDLE Python GUI which looks like this, and here you can just write your code like print hello, print 8.3, 8 into 3, 3 into 3, whatever you want, and then you have to save that. So these are the steps which you follow for saving the IDLE Python shell coding. So you just open IDLE, then you write whatever code you want to write, say print hello, print word, print Python is an object oriented programming language. Then you click on file, save, and then save the file with the file name of extension .py. It is very important, you need to save your file with an extension .py. Next, in script mode only, second step is run the program. Now how you run the program? You click on open command from IDLE files menu, right, and select the file you have already saved. Click on run, that is run module. It will execute all the commands of the program file and display output in separate Python shell window. As soon as you run the code, a new window pops up and you see the output of the program which you have performed. Next comes data handling. Now what do you mean by data handling? Most of the computer programming languages support data type, variables, operators, and expression like fundamentals. Python also support these. So you know that you need to store some data, you need to use some data. Then there are variables. Variables are those whose value keeps on changing and it is not constant. Operators you all know, plus, minus, bitwise, logical, and, or, these all are operators. Then we have expressions like fundamentals. Expressions means any expression like a square plus b square plus c square, all these are expressions which are being used. So first we are going to discuss the data types. Now what are data types? Data types specify which type of value a variable can store. So data type basically tells you किस तरीके की value आप store कर सकते हो. For example, in your home you have different cupboards. One cupboard is for food material, one cupboard is for shoes, one cupboard is for clothes. You don't keep your clothes in food almirah, or you don't keep your shoes in your clothes, right? So there are different compartments or cupboards which you have for your stuff at home. Similarly, in computer also, when you want to store any value, so you need to define a data type for it. For example, if you are using an integer, so you need to define an integer, and accordingly space will be provided into the memory, right? If you want an string, so similarly accordingly this space will be provided in the memory. Okay, so these are various data types which we are going to discuss that helps you store any kind of data predefined with the type, what type you are going to use. So these are the types of data type which we will study: number, string, boolean, list, tuple, set, dictionary. Number. Now you know what are numbers: 1, 2, 3, 2.3, complex number. There are basically three types of number: integers, floating point number, complex number. So the first data type we are going to study is integer. Integers are positive or negative number. In computer you can also say it as int, and these are the positive and the negative number with no decimal points. As you can see, here is an example where a has 100 value, b minus 100, c 1 into 20. So you can just simply print these values and you get the desired output. Now next is type conversion of integer. Now what do you mean by type conversion? Type conversion means when you convert data type from one type to another, maybe from int to float, float to string, or string to float. Any kind of conversions which you can do is called as, in data type, is called as type conversion. Here is an example given. Here a is given 101. As you can see, it is inside the double quote, so that means it is a string value. Then b, in b we are converting this string value into an integer value. So this is how you convert any value, anything, any string value into an integer value. Then you are converting int 122.4. Now 122.4, as you can see, there is a point over here. So this is not an integer value, it is a float value, right? So again, then you print b and then you print c and you run the code. So the desired output is shown as here. As you can see, 122.4 is converted into 122, that is an integer value. Next come floating points. Now floating points, it is a positive or a negative real number. Real number means with a decimal point, right? So here's an example where we have given certain float values to some variables and then we have simply printed those values, and when you run the code you get the desired output. So now type conversion of floating point. Here also you can understand it with an example. For example, a is given into single inverted commas. In Python, you can use both single inverted commas as well as double inverted commas for specifying that given information or data is string. Okay. So then we convert b is equal to into float data type. So simple type conversion method is to use that data type and in that give the parameter or give the value which you want to convert. Then also c is equal to float 1 to 1. Now as you can see, 1 to 1 is an integer value, so we are converting into a float value. So you simply print value of b and value of c and you get the output as 301.4, and since 1 to 1 was an integer, so 0.0 is added, which makes it a float variable. Next is complex number. In mathematics, we have complex number, which are the combination of real and imaginary part. So you must be knowing that they are expressed in the form of x plus yj, where x is the real part and y is the imaginary part. So you can also use these data type in Python. How? For example, a is given the complex 5. Now you have used the complex 5, that means you are using type conversion here. As 5 is an integer value, so you are converting into a complex number and storing that value in a. Then you print a and then complex 101, 23 converts 101 with real part and 23 as imaginary part, right? So in the above example, as you have not given any imaginary part, you have so it will consider it as 0. And in this case you have given 23, so that it will be considered as an imaginary part and it will print the value as 101 plus 23j. So this is how complex numbers can be used in Python. I hope you know that the execution or the values are assigned in computer in any programming language from right to left into this variable. Next we have string in Python. A string is a sequence of characters mainly A, B, C, or some special characters like @ etc. In Python, we can create string using either single quotes or double quotes. Both are valid. Let's see here an example. We have taken a string str as hello world, and we are going to see how str can be modified and printed in different ways. This is an important thing. This can be asked in your viva as well as in 1 or 2 marks questions in your paper. So first we have printed the value str. So str simply prints the whole string value, that is hello world. Next is str0. So when a string is given, it is defined a position. For example, here h is stored at position 0, e at 1, l2, l3, o4 and so on. This white space in between is also given a position. In this case, its position is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Fifth position is a space or empty position. Always remember that the string starts from the position 0. So from here, string 0, that is at 0 position, h is there, so it will print the first character, that is h. Next is print the string from first position to third. Now in Python, when you write 1:3, so it will start from value from position 1. Here position 1 of of 1 is e, so it will start from e, and it is written 3 here. So 3 means before 3 it should end. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So the second L is at 3 position, so before that position it should end. So EL will be your output of this command, right? Next we have written only 3. We have written only 3 over here. So 3 colon nothing. So it will start writing my string from the third position. So here third position is 0, 1, 2, 3, the second L. So the output will be from the second L, that is LO, till the end of the string. Next is you are multiply the string with 2, str into 2, so it will print the string, whole string twice. Then we have concatenation. Concatenation means adding another string at the end of the previously existing string. So here I have written str plus yes. I have written str plus yes. As you can see, yes is also a string. So output will be hello world yes. Next we have iterating through strings. Now how we can iterate means, iteration means one after the another, and how can we go through, or like कैसे मैं उसको read कर सकती हूँ, like from COMP, how I can read that string. So we can do this using a for loop. Now in for loop, you know the syntax for I in str, print I, right? So I can be, I here is defined as the size of the string. Okay, I here is the size of the string. I forgot to mention it here. I is the length of the string. So till the value of I is there, that means here the length of the string is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So till the value 7, you have to read print I. So output will be, first it will read C, then it will come into the next line OMP space SC. So this is how you can print your string which the user has inputted. Iterating through string is basically used for printing the string. Next is Boolean in Python. Now Boolean is basically a data variable which has possible 2 values, and these 2 possible values are either true or false. So these are the two basic values. These are the only 2 values which are possible in Boolean data type. Now how can you can use this? For example, I have initialized string is equal to COMP SC. So what I am doing, I am using a string function, that is str.isUpper. That means the task of this function is to check whether the string which I have given is in uppercase. Uppercase means in capital letters. As you can see, all the letters in this are small or lowercase. So then we print the value of boo. So it will give us the value as false because it is not in uppercase or in capital letters. Next we have is list in Python. List are collections of items and each item has its own index value. right? So you must have studied this in previous class. We will not be going in detail of list, as you have already know. If you still want a detailed lecture on this, please let me know, we will discuss it. Next is tuple. Tuple and list are both same. The task of them is both same. The only thing is list is mutable Python objects and tuple is immutable. Now what do you mean by mutable and immutable? Immutable Python objects mean you cannot modify the contents of the tuple once you have assigned it. इम्यूटेबल मीन्स आप उसके कंटेंट को बाद में चेंज या डिलीट या चेंज नहीं कर सकते हो, उसको आप मॉडिफाई नहीं कर सकते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लिस्ट 6,9 एंड एट लिस्ट there is a list which contains value 6 and 9, and then at list 0 you are overwriting. Already 6 is present in that list in the 0th position. 0th position पे 6 already है, but you are writing 55 in that place, so it will overwrite 6 and give you the output as 55. But if you try to do this in tuple, tuple will generate an error as you cannot modify the tuple. Next we have set in Python. Set, it is an unordered. Unordered means there are no defined way that data would be ordered. That is, insertion of data does not have any correlation with how the data is arranged. Unordered means किसी भी तरीके से कैसे भी डेटा हो सकता है. It is not necessary ascending or descending हो. No order is required. It can be in any order. Collection of unique and immutable. Now what do you mean by unique? Means different, right? It takes, if you give value twice, like in the given example you see I have given 22 twice, right? So it has printed the output 22 only once. सिर्फ यूनिक वैल्यूज को स्टोर करता है. अगर आप उसमें डुप्लीकेट डेटा दोगे तो इट विल नॉट स्टोर. एंड इम्यूटेबल एज डिस्कस्ड, वैल्यूज कैन नॉट बी मॉडिफाइड. नेक्स्ट वी हैव डिक्शनरी इन पाइथन. नाउ डिक्शनरी इज ऑल्सो अ डेटा टाइप. It is an unordered collection of items and each item consists of key and a value. So in this you provide a proper key. What do you mean by key? An identification, you can say a label, basically a label which you provide. Like when you have notebooks in your class, in your junior classes, or even in nowadays, you provide a label that this is science notebook, this is physics notebook, this is chemistry, this is accounts. So you provide a label to it. Similarly, you can say that a key is a label. For example, I am defining a dictionary here. So subject is computer science and class is 11th. So when I print this dictionary, right, so the output will show me the complete values of dictionary with key and the value both. Key and value both will be printed. But if I write print dictionary subject, so what it will print? It will print computer science. And if I say print class, then it will print the value stored in that key. If I ask to print the value, I can directly give the key and it will print the value. So this was all about data types. I hope you have understood it. If you still have any doubt, please keep a note of those doubts and we will discuss them in the coming doubt session. And please do attend the doubt sessions even if you don't have any doubt, so that when other students will ask their doubt, your concepts will become more better and it will help you in your exams as well as building up your concepts. Thank you.